Novak Djokovic is undeniably one of the greatest athletes to ever walk the earth. With a record-breaking haul of Grand Slams, he has dominated men's tennis like no one else. But his journey has never been just about what happens baseline to baseline. It's a story filled with intense controversy, political drama, and deep-seated rivalries. And now, we are finally getting an unfiltered look behind the curtain. On August 20th, Djokovic is premiering his highly anticipated, deeply personal documentary. Today, we're breaking down the 5 biggest things you can expect to watch out for when this film drops. Trust me, number 4 is a moment that changed tennis history forever. Let's dive in. First up is the origin story. To truly understand Novak's unmatched mental toughness, you have to understand where he came from. The documentary promises an intimate look at his childhood in Belgrade during the Balkan War. Imagine trying to practice your backhand while NATO forces are actively bombing your city. Novak and his family spent nights in bomb shelters, but the hardship didn't stop there. Tennis is a notoriously expensive sport. The film will reveal just how close the journey was to ending before it even started, highlighting the extreme financial sacrifices his parents made. They were borrowing money from loan sharks just to fund his travel and training. This chapter will show us the raw, survivalist mentality that forged the Iron Wolf of tennis. Next, the documentary might tackle one of the darkest stains on his public image, the 2020 Adria Tour. During the absolute peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the rest of the world was in strict self-isolation, Djokovic organized a charity exhibition tour. The behind-the-scenes mismanagement was staggering. Social distancing was virtually non-existent. Video of Novak and other top players partying in crowded clubs went global. Unsurprisingly, the tour turned into a super-spreader event. Novak, his wife, and several other players tested positive. It caused an international outcry, and to this day, it tarnishes his reputation. Fans are eager to see how much accountability Novak takes for this fiasco in his own film. Number 3 could take us back to Arthur Ashe Stadium. Later that same year, Novak was on a 26-match winning streak, heavily favored to win the US Open. Then, in a split second of frustration during his match against Pablo Carreño Busta, everything unraveled. Novak swatted a ball blindly behind him. It struck a female line judge directly in the throat. Even though it was completely accidental, the rules are absolute. After a tense, agonizing discussion with officials on court, Djokovic was disqualified. It was one of the most shocking moments in modern sports history. The documentary will give us his internal monologue during those frantic minutes at the net and the heavy emotional toll of driving away knowing he threw away a Grand Slam. This is the big one. January 2022. Djokovic arrived in Melbourne seeking his 21st Grand Slam title. He was relying on a medical exemption regarding his unvaccinated status. What followed was a political and bureaucratic nightmare. He was detained at the airport, stripped of his visa, and forced into a grim immigration detention hotel alongside asylum seekers. The global media circus was unprecedented. Novak fought it in court, won initially, but was ultimately deported by the Australian government. In recent interviews, Novak admitted that this entire ordeal is something that still sits at the back of his mind whenever he steps foot on a court. Seeing his private camera logs and his raw emotional state inside that detention hotel is going to be incredibly compelling television. Finally, the film is very likely to explore the complex, frosty, and endlessly fascinating relationship between the big three. Together with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, Novak ruled over the most dominant era men's tennis has ever seen. But while Federer and Nadal shared a famous bromance, Novak was always the outsider crashing their party. Their relationships were constantly under the microscope. Were they friends, foes? Did mutual respect mask a deeper animosity? Novak has often felt slighted by crowds who preferred his rivals. This documentary will finally show how Novak views his legendary counterparts. Love him or hate him, you cannot look away from Novak Djokovic. His documentary premieres on August 20th, and it promises to be an absolute roller coaster. Which of these 5 moments are you most excited to see exposed? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more tennis breakdowns, and we'll see you in the next video.